Did you know that organized crime generates an estimated $2 trillion annually, making it one of the largest shadow economies in the world? Beyond the staggering financial toll, its impact is felt in human lives. With millions exploited through trafficking, forced labor, and violence, it's a silent epidemic that infiltrates governments, corrupts institutions, and destabilizes economies. To counter this growing menace, a groundbreaking covert initiative known as Operation Global Chain was launched. This international effort brings together the world's top intelligence agencies, law enforcement, and cyber specialists in a relentless pursuit to dismantle the most sophisticated criminal syndicates. But how do you fight an enemy that thrives in the shadows and adapts to every move? In this video, we'll explore the rise of organized crime, the birth and mission of Operation Global Chain, and the extraordinary strategies used to tackle a global issue of this magnitude. Along the way, we'll uncover the operation's successes, challenges, and the ongoing battle for justice. Organized crime has evolved significantly over the decades, transforming from traditional mafia syndicates into highly networked global enterprises. In the early 20th century, groups like the Italian Mafia and the Yakuza dominated headlines with their control over illegal trade, gambling, and extortion. Fast forward to today, and these groups have expanded their reach, operating alongside powerful drug cartels in Latin America and emerging cybercrime syndicates in Eastern Europe and Asia. The impact of these networks is profound. Economically, they drain billions annually from legitimate markets through fraud, money laundering, and counterfeit goods. Their influence extends into human trafficking and drug distribution, which devastate lives and communities. Furthermore, organized crime often operates hand-in-hand with terrorism, providing funding and logistical support to extremist groups. Recognizing the need for a united front against this global threat, Operation Global Chain was launched in the late 2010s. The operation was spearheaded by a coalition of nations working under the auspices of organizations like Interpol and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC. The initiative arose from a shared understanding: no single country could tackle transnational organized crime alone. The mission of Operation Global Chain is ambitious, yet clear: to dismantle transnational crime networks, disrupt their operations, and minimize their influence on global society. At the heart of the operation are elite teams of intelligence agencies, local and international law enforcement, cyber specialists, and covert operatives. These key players leverage cutting-edge technology, from artificial intelligence to digital forensics, and collaborate across borders to bring down crime syndicates operating in the shadows. This monumental undertaking has not only reshaped the fight against organized crime, but also established new benchmarks for international cooperation in law enforcement. One of the cornerstones of Operation Global Chain is the seamless exchange of intelligence between nations and organizations. To combat transnational crime, agencies like Interpol, Europol, and national intelligence units must work together, sharing vital information about criminal operations. This often involves detailed data analysis, surveillance reports, and encrypted communications, allowing them to track movements across borders. By pooling resources and intelligence, authorities can connect the dots between seemingly unrelated incidents. Whether it's drug shipments moving through multiple countries or a string of human trafficking cases spanning continents, this cooperative approach is essential for piecing together the global puzzle of organized crime. Undercover operations play a critical role in infiltrating criminal organizations and gathering direct intelligence. Operation Global Chain has facilitated daring infiltration missions where operatives pose as criminals, often infiltrating the most dangerous syndicates. In some cases, informants and whistleblowers, often insiders, risk their lives to provide authorities with key information. These covert missions are high stakes, as the criminals involved are ruthless, but they have resulted in uncovering major drug smuggling routes, weapon sales, and even human trafficking rings. One famous operation involved an undercover agent infiltrating a notorious Mexican cartel, gaining first-hand knowledge of their operations and leading to a series of arrests that shook the criminal world. In today's digital age, technology is a vital weapon in the fight against organized crime. Operation Global Chain harnesses the power of artificial intelligence, AI, surveillance technology, and even cyber hacking techniques to track financial transactions, monitor encrypted communications, and identify criminal activity. AI allows agencies to analyze vast amounts of data in real time, uncovering patterns that would otherwise go unnoticed. Financial transactions linked to illegal activities, like money laundering or drug sales, are traced through blockchain and digital currency networks. Surveillance tools are used to track suspects across borders, while hackers have even infiltrated criminal networks to disable their operations. For example, a coordinated effort in 2021 successfully hacked a dark web marketplace, shutting down illegal arms sales and disrupting countless criminal transactions. In some of the most significant victories of Operation Global Chain, coordinated raids across multiple countries have taken down entire criminal organizations. These operations are meticulously planned to ensure that law enforcement can act simultaneously in different locations to capture key leaders and seize evidence before criminals can flee or destroy it. One of the most dramatic instances occurred when authorities across 5 countries raided a major international trafficking ring, resulting in the capture of several high-ranking cartel members and the dismantling of a network that spanned Europe, the Americas, and Africa. These raids are a testament to the power of international cooperation and tactical precision. The success of Operation Global Chain is evident in the high-profile arrests of organized crime leaders. One notable case was the capture of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the infamous leader of the Sinaloa cartel. Through extensive surveillance, undercover operations, and intelligence sharing, authorities tracked his movements for years before capturing him in 2016. His arrest not only disrupted one of the world's most powerful drug cartels, but also sent a clear message that no criminal is beyond the reach of global law enforcement. In another case, Dmitry Sokolov, a leader of a transnational cybercrime syndicate, was apprehended after months of digital surveillance and cooperation between US and Russian law enforcement. His arrest led to the shutdown of a vast network responsible for hacking millions of bank accounts and laundering funds. Seizing illicit goods and funds is another crucial element in dismantling criminal networks. Operation Global Chain has led to the confiscation of billions in illegal assets, from cocaine shipments to weapons caches. One of the largest drug busts in history occurred in 2018, when authorities seized over $1.5 billion worth of cocaine from a single cartel operation. These seizures not only financially cripple the cartels, but also send a powerful message that crime doesn't pay. In addition to drugs, massive amounts of illegal arms and human trafficking victims have been intercepted during joint raids. These successes disrupt the supply chains and severely reduce the operational power of criminal organizations. Perhaps the most significant measure of success is the dismantling of entire criminal networks. Through Operation Global Chain, major syndicates have been shattered, with leaders arrested and operations brought to a halt. One example includes the takedown of a European crime syndicate involved in smuggling arms to conflict zones. Over 30 members were arrested, and their network was completely wiped out, preventing further bloodshed in war-torn regions. Another notable disruption involved a money laundering scheme where billions of dollars were funneled through shell companies to fund terrorist organizations. The dismantling of this network not only affected the criminal world, but also had a direct impact on global security by cutting off funds to extremist groups. Despite the successes, Operation Global Chain faces significant challenges, especially when it comes to jurisdictional issues. Criminal organizations operate across multiple countries, and when a crime occurs in one country but impacts another, international law enforcement must navigate complex legal systems to take action. Different countries have varying laws, extradition agreements, and procedures for handling criminal cases, which can delay or prevent operations. This is particularly problematic when criminals find safe havens in countries with weaker law enforcement or political instability, making them difficult to apprehend. Another major hurdle is corruption within law enforcement and government institutions. In many countries, criminal syndicates have deep ties to political figures and officials, allowing them to operate with near impunity. This corruption can lead to compromised investigations, leaks of sensitive information, and even direct sabotage of operations. In some instances, criminal syndicates have managed to infiltrate local police forces, tipping off leaders before major raids take place. These challenges are a constant obstacle for Operation Global Chain, which must not only fight the criminals, but also ensure that its efforts are protected from internal threats. As law enforcement agencies have adopted new technologies, so too have criminals. Cybercrime has skyrocketed in recent years, with criminals using cryptocurrency and encrypted communications to carry out illicit activities. These technologies make it harder for law enforcement to track financial transactions, monitor illegal activity, and infiltrate networks. In response, Operation Global Chain has ramped up its own technological capabilities, but the battle remains ongoing. The sheer speed and sophistication of cybercriminals pose a significant challenge to global law enforcement's ability to keep up. Finally, the human cost of this battle is undeniable. Operatives risk their lives in dangerous undercover operations, and some have paid the ultimate price. In addition to the personal dangers faced by agents, innocent lives are often caught in the crossfire during raids and confrontations. Whether it's victims of human trafficking, civilians in cartel-controlled territories, or agents in the field, the costs of this war are immense. Despite these risks, the mission remains critical to protecting societies and ensuring that the influence of organized crime is finally eradicated. As organized crime continues to adapt, so too must the efforts to dismantle it. Operation Global Chain is not a one-time initiative, but a continuous evolving campaign. New alliances are being forged between countries, private sectors, and non-governmental organizations, strengthening the global network against crime. These alliances enable agencies to share intelligence in real time and coordinate actions across borders with greater efficiency. Moreover, technological innovations, such as artificial intelligence, blockchain analysis, and quantum computing, are expected to play an increasingly vital role in tracking criminal operations. Advanced AI algorithms can sift through vast data pools, identifying criminal patterns and financial transactions faster than ever before. In the near future, drones and AI-driven surveillance systems may be used to monitor remote areas where criminal activities are often hidden. To keep up with the dynamic nature of global crime, there is an urgent need for legislative reforms that strengthen the international legal framework. Several treaties and international agreements are being developed to ensure that criminals face justice, regardless of where they operate. The United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime, UNTOC, for example, plays a critical role in facilitating cooperation among member states. However, this is just the beginning. Countries must work together to create stronger, unified policies on extradition, asset forfeiture, and cross-border investigations. Only through harmonizing laws can global law enforcement agencies hold criminals accountable, even when their activities span multiple nations. The future of the fight against organized crime depends on governments' willingness to adopt these reforms and foster closer international cooperation. While law enforcement agencies and governments are on the front lines, the public also has a role to play. Public awareness about the impact of organized crime, whether it's drug trafficking, human exploitation, or cybercrime, is crucial for fostering cooperation. Communities need to be educated on recognizing the signs of criminal activity and reporting suspicious behavior. Furthermore, individuals can advocate for stronger policies, demand more resources for law enforcement, and support initiatives that tackle the root causes of organized crime, such as poverty and lack of education. The fight against organized crime is not only the responsibility of the authorities, but of every person who values a just, safe, and prosperous society.